Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? My name is Tay and welcome back to my channel Inspire Me, where I talk about current or relatable topics all from a godly perspective. And today's topic is called Pick One. Now, I was trying to see if I should do this topic. I don't want to come off the wrong way, so I was asking God to lead me. I did explain some things I kind of bypassed, but other things I kind of like analyzed. Now, it don't have to be necessarily that exact same moment. It could be hours or days later, but I'll like analyze it. Okay, you know when somebody get a spouse, they pretty much let you know how they met the spouse and how God ordained it and how they came together. So I was like, okay, wow, like this is beautiful. Like me, like if especially if it's God ordained, like it don't have to be me. It could be anybody. Just as long as I know God ordained this, like wow, it's beautiful. Okay, first I kept hearing the person that met the person, they kept calling their name, like mentioning their name, like how they knew the person. So I'm like, who is this person? Because I came kind of late. So when I looked at it again, I realized the name was somebody who they became acquainted with over that time, over like a little period of time. So a little bit after that, the person passed away. Now, the person that passed away, they had a spouse, and once a person passed away, they're no longer married. They're a widower. The person that knew the spouse that passed away, I guess what they say is like God ordained it. So pretty much they got married to the spouse that was left that was a widower. Okay, when I was like, wow, okay, like this way they explained it, you could tell God did put things in place and everything. Like this is beautiful, but it just makes me think like, was it too soon? Maybe this was the spouse, but was it too soon to get married? And the reason why I say that is because, like I said in a video or two, it's like you can always tell when a person's not healed for something or someone. It's whether they get mad if they hit a person or the situation, or whether they get sad or crying. Now, the individual, whenever the name of their ex was brought up, the one that passed away, they looked sad in the face, like they wanted to cry. Like every time the person brought up their name, the spouse who they're with now, and even them bringing up, the person's name, they were so sad. Like they literally looked like they wanted to cry. And then also too, the person made it clear that they pretty much wasn't healed. Now that's pretty much not what the exact words they said. But okay, one thing about it that was a good thing, they both are godly. Like the person that passed away, I'm trying to say this the right way without giving too much information, but yeah, the spouse that passed away was godly, as well as the spouse that they're with right now, they're godly. So that's a great thing. What they said is, the spouse that I'm with now, they know that I still love such and such, the one that passed away. So what I'm doing is, I told them, like, I'm making room for them. So I'll always have this person in my heart, even though they passed away, but I'm making room for my new spouse. And then that made me think of like, yeah, there's something wrong with that picture. Now, the go-to scripture I want to use regarding that is actually going to be from Matthews. And you know how only God says, you can't serve two masters. Either you're going to hate the other or despise the other. Now, I'm not saying that the person is going to hate their new spouse or they're going to despise their new spouse over the one that passed away. I'm not saying that whatsoever. However, what it's saying in the Bible, the person is going to show favoritism. Like, if you're trying to serve two masters, you're pretty much going to be loyal to the next person. It's just like in the world. If you cool with two people, but this person that you cool with is not friends no longer with the other person, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna be cool with that person either, because you're gonna be loyal to the other friend. The exact same way, you're not gonna look at it like, oh, I gotta be loyal to both of them, and sometimes, but if you're in the world, barely. So even with that, it's like you're gonna show favoritism one over the other. Even though you love the spouse right now, I'm not saying that you gotta hate your ex. I'm not saying that you gotta despise your ex, but if God closed that door, Like if it's gonna take you a while to heal, then heal. Just be friends with the other person, but don't rush into a marriage if you know you're not healed. If a person, you don't have to be married, a person, and they so called in love with two people. I heard people say stuff like that. You can't be in love with two people. And then say for instance, the man, he so called in love with two women, and then the woman like, man, you gotta choose. That's right. You're not gonna have. This is not the New Testament when you can have more than one wife. You got to choose. So it's like somewhere you gotta choose. You can't say, well, I like this quality in this person and like that quality in that person, so I'm gonna just be with them too. No. Choose one and let it be done. Now, it's not to say you gotta hate the other person now. You gotta despise them. You gotta be rude to them because you didn't choose them, because you made your choice. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but let it be known that you chose who you need to choose, and that's it. So like I said, with the individual, and then also too, when they were speaking about their ex, once your ex passed away, they're pretty much a widow or widower. So, but the person was still talking like this person was still living. Like my spouse, my spouse, not the spouse that they're with right now, but the spouse that passed away. Oh, my spouse, but this and that, my spouse. I'm like, I had to listen again. I'm like, current person they're with or the ex? They were talking about the ex. It's not to bash. Everybody deserves love if it's God's way. If God ordained it, then so be it. And he could have ordained it, but did he call you to do it now? Because I know God's not in the business of a person being unhealed and him putting y'all together. I really don't think so regarding that. May God just speak to them, and this could be a rapid transformation. And when they speak about it in the future, you can see that the person is healed and it's no longer affect them. So yeah, you gotta choose. You gotta pick one. You can't have both in your heart, because that's your spouse now. The current spouse is your spouse now, not the spouse that passed away. And I understand that y'all been together for a long time, and ups and downs and different things like that. You have not healed, but you have to heal before you get with the next person. That's just like a rebound. If you break with a relationship, whether you're married or not, and you do not heal from the person, and you get with somebody else, it might temporarily get you over the person you're with, but you still have not healed. Also, too, it was a show on, oh gosh, it was a show a while ago I used to look at. I forgot what it was called. Okay, it's two people that go together now, and they're in an island. So all of a sudden they pretend, the producers pretend that the person that they're with, their boyfriend or girlfriend, they went home. So all of a sudden they bring their ex to the island with them. So they gotta pretty much stay the night or the weekend with the ex. Now some people fail and they start messing back with the ex. They're unhealed. And there might be some people that might pass it, but I think pretty much all the times that I've seen it, I think some people failed, if I'm not mistaken. Not healed or rebound. You got to get healed. It's nothing to, like I said, nothing to be judgmental, but I'm going to pray for that situation, as well as those who hear this message, they're pray for the situation as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say regarding that. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.